R&B artist with a rapper mentality, and also you had sex appeal with Rick James energy. That's how you're described
Wow.
in there at some point. Now, that guy to this guy, what happened in between?
What's up, YouTube? Back at you with another video. If you haven't already, check out my video essays on Ralph Tresvant's Living in a Dream, Bobby Brown's Mystical Magic, New Edition's Tender Love, Every Little Step, as well as the album retrospectives on the Candy Girl, New Edition, All for Love, King of Stage, Under the Blue Moon, Chemistry, and Heartbreak. In each video, I dive into interesting topics not commonly known about New Edition. Although a solid musical effort, Bobby Brown's debut solo album, King of Stage, failed to make a commercial and critical impression, only selling 300,000 copies, and none of his singles were hits on the Billboard Hot 100. Due to the album's underperformance, MCA made it clear to Bobby that if his second album was not successful, he would be dropped from the label. Under this pressure, Bobby Brown will create what will become the definitive album of his career. In this video, I'll be discussing the history leading up to and slightly after the Don't Be Cruel album. While you're here, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and without further ado, let's get into it. Bobby had been vocal about his overall dissatisfaction with the King of Stage album, lamenting on the creative differences between himself and Larry Blackman, who produced the entire album. The album's two singles, Girlfriend and Girl Next Door, stayed close to New Edition's overall musical style and clean-cut image, both of which failed to capitalize on Bobby's attitude and talents. In order for his next album to be a success, the songs had to be a musical and lyrical reflection of him. In 1987, New Edition would enlist Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis to write and produce their next album, making them unavailable to work with Bobby. In response to this, MCA brought in L.A. Reid and Babyface to write and produce the majority of the album. The pair would begin making their mark on the industry in 1981 as members of the R&B group The Deal. The group would release 3 albums, Street Beat, Material Things, and Eyes of a Stranger. The latter two written and produced primarily by L.A. and Babyface. Notable songs being Body Talk, Two Occasions, and Sweet November. Body Talk was released as a single in January 1984 and reached number 77 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 3 on the R&B chart. Two Occasions was released on December 23, 1987 and went on to be their most successful song, reaching number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 4 on the R&B chart. Sweet November, featured on Material Things, was never released as a single but went on to be covered by Troop in 1992. Their version of the song reached number 1 on the R&B chart and is one of my favorite R&B tracks of all time. Babyface's earliest songwriting credit would be Slow Jam for Midnight Star in 1983. Much like Sweet November, it would go on to be covered by Usher and Monica in 1997 for his album My Way, and famously covered by Jamie Foxx during his stand-up special Unleashed, Lost, Stolen, and Leaked. L.A. and Babyface eventually parted ways with The Deal. He began working with artists such as Pebbles, Karen White, Shalimar, and The Whispers. During a meeting with Universal, Bobby was among the artists suggested for them to work with.
So we were here in LA and we went to meet with Lil Silas and Cheryl Dickerson. We met with Lil and Lil told us about Bobby Brown, said this kid Bobby Brown's, you know him in New Edition. He's doing this record. He's got this record called Girlfriend out, and we think he can be hot. And we weren't really sure about that yet. And then we also met with Cheryl Dickerson the same day. And she said, you need to go check out this girl named Pebbles. She's in the studio now. I think her record's done, but you need to go check her out. So we got in our car and started to leave. And when we were in the car that moment, then we heard Bobby Brown just happened to be on the radio doing a live show. And he was singing Girlfriend. And he went for a note. On Girlfriend and didn't hit it. Then he said, I didn't want to sing this song anyway.
That's a weird perspective.
And then we got to work with them. That's what sold us.
Really?
Yeah, because
not hitting the note.
The fact that he didn't care. And that's like, okay, that attitude, put that attitude on the right record, and that's crazy. So we decided to work with him.
However, Bobby was uncertain of L.A. Reid and Babyface when they met at the studio to begin recording work. He was unsure if they were the right producers for the project, considering the music they were known for. Bobby was assured by Louis Silas Jr. that they were right for the job. Babyface would recount on working with Bobby on the album's title track, saying, "I think Don't Be Cruel might have been the first song we did. We were just trying to learn each other at that particular point." He didn't love the song, so it wasn't like he was really into it. It took a little more work to get it done. We got that one done, and as other songs started to come in, I think he liked the other songs a little bit better. Teddy Riley was the final piece to the album's songwriting and production puzzle. He would begin his career in Harlem, New York, producing tracks that local rappers would use. At 18 years old, Riley would produce Go See the Doctor by Kool Moe Dee, which reached number 89 on the Billboard Hot 100. In 1987, Guy was formed, a group comprised of Aaron Hall, Timmy Gatling, and Riley. They would be most known for a sound that would go on to be called New Jack Swing, a fusion of gritty hip-hop beats and rhythms along with smooth R&B melodies, which Bobby felt was missing from the album.
Well, I used to have dreams, and my dreams were, I wanted to see Michael Jackson and Prince together. I wanted to see James Brown and Al Green make a record. I wanted to mix it up. It's like the same old thing. And I said, you know what? Since I can't do it that way, and I can't see, we can't get what we want. I wanted to mix everything up, and being that I couldn't get what I want, I did it in the music. So I put gospel with blues, with fusion, with EDM, and mix it all up like gumbo. And I didn't know what the name, I didn't have a name for it. I just did it. You don't really have a name until it becomes famous.
Right, and then people will name it for you.
Yeah, the music have to become the star. And until the music becomes the star, then you are.
Bobby would visit Teddy Riley in Brooklyn to write and record what will become My Prerogative from scratch.
I remember being in the projects in Harlem for the first time. I remember us doing the beat, and then me and Aaron Hall. Aaron Hall and Big Bub getting on the train and going to Brooklyn. We got on the train and we went to Brooklyn, and that's where we wrote the lyrics. Basically. Because we was talking on the train, and we was thinking about what is the one word that nobody uses. And that was prerogative. And it's spelled prerogative.
Right.
But we said prerogative. And all of a sudden in dictionary spelled it like we
sang it, right, and wrote it.
So that was special. That was the special part about it. That we actually created a word in the dictionary.
Right.
That was different from how they wrote it before. It was prerogative, then it turned into prerogative. So we was happy about that.
Much like L.A Reid and Babyface, this collaboration didn't come without conflict. Bobby Brown challenged Teddy Riley on how My Prerogative was supposed to be sung.
Conscious decision.
It's always my decision, because that's how, Bobby Brown walked out of the studio on me because he didn't want to sing My Prerogative the way we envision it and the way we hear it. Bobby was like harsh. He's like, I'm telling you, I don't sing, I sing, I make hits. I did Girl Next Door. That's how walked out of the studio. I was like, well, we ain't got to do this, Bobby. He's like, all right, I'm fuck out of here then. Walked out of the room, and the record company literally had to tell him, we're going to can your album if you don't get back in that studio with this guy. Do you know who he is? And that's Lil Silas, God bless him, who was responsible for me being on this album. And I only had two songs, and he came back in and said to me, if this shit don't work my way, we gonna do it my way. I said, all right. I'm always the calm one. See, that's the job of a producer. You gotta be the opposite of your artist.
I'm actually gonna give the song, to somebody else. And we wind up coming to an agreement that if it works with him singing it the way I told him to sing it, then he will tell, trust me. And from that day forth, Bobby Brown trusted me with anything that I gave him. And we wound up doing his third album together.
Daryl Simmons and Aaron Hall were also brought in to contribute to the album's songwriting and production. With mutual trust and faith between Bobby and the producers, work would resume on Don't Be Cruel. The album begins with an eerie prelude that prepares the listener for what would be the album's title track, Don't Be Cruel. True to the definition of New Jack Swing, the song begins with a hip-hop beat that repeats itself until it is juxtaposed with an R&B melody that gives the song a fun edge. Much like the contrasting elements of the song, Bobby's vocal delivery functions like a pendulum, switching back and forth between singing and rapping. With his first verse playing it nice in an attempt to coax his love interest using smooth, pleading vocals. The chorus is a rich combination of several background vocalists: Babyface, Daryl Simmons, Bernard Bell, Karen White, and Lee Drakeford, who helped Bobby get his point across into the second verse. Since playing it nice didn't work, Bobby goes harder and opts to rap instead, keeping it real with lyrics. What's up with this attitude? I thought I was being real good to you. I treat you sweet, take you out at night, but you never say thanks, girl. That ain't right. It's not what you say, it's how you say it, with Bobby switching his delivery again. Girl, I work so hard for you from 9 to 5, so you can have the finer things in life, since you're the kind that's never satisfied. We've been in relationships where what we do for the other person isn't reciprocated at all. Don't Be Cruel is an ode to that. The song takes a brief break from the vocals as if a back and forth were taking place between Bobby and his love interest. When he returns, the subject is no longer up for discussion as he gives his love interest an ultimatum. Although I want you bad, I can let you go, because there's a lot of girls out there that won't say no. But with a bad attitude, I can't compete. Now you know my name. Now I know your game. You want to be with me, you gotta be the same way that another girl would be. And if you want to be with me, don't be cruel. The song ends off with Bobby ad-libbing amidst the chorus that's sitting on top of the R&B fused hip-hop environment, reiterating his ultimatum, this time just the drums and ad-libs to accompany it, with the eerie vocals from the prelude making a return as the song makes its flawless exit. Don't Be Cruel was released as a single on May 16, 1988 and reached number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on the R&B chart, with its music video mirroring the song's lyrics perfectly while showcasing Bobby's new look and dance moves. Don't Be Cruel was the perfect lead single for the album.
And even with the L.A. and Babyface stuff, you know, it's real good music and good written tunes. And you just got to put the attitude on it. And my attitude is strictly East Coast. I'm Boston. I'm from Boston. It was great. It was a lot of fun filming it. The director and the people that were working on the set, everybody just made it a lot of fun. And I think that was the best video I think I had the most fun with. You know, it wasn't all work at all times. You know, I had a lot of fun with it. So, you know, I enjoyed myself very much.
My Prerogative, produced by Teddy Riley, and a songwriting collaboration between Bobby, Gene Griffin, and Teddy Riley. A car coming to an abrupt stop precedes the hard-hitting beat that comes right in with a funk edge, wasting no time, making the statement everyone was waiting to hear. Everybody's talking all the stuff about me. Why don't they just let me live? I don't need permission to make my own decisions. That's my prerogative. Bobby's bravado is in full swing and on full display, as his first verse describes his attitude as a man, an artist to a T. A lyrical response to critics, naysayers, and haters alike. Some ask me questions, why am I so real? But they don't understand me, they really don't know the deal about a brother. A message that I've never related to more than I do now. Every man or woman is entitled to live life completely on their terms, regardless of what anyone has to say. That way of life will rub people the wrong way and make people talk down on you. It's your prerogative to do what you want to do and live how you want to live. Aaron Hall and Teddy Riley sing background vocals, with Aaron Hall prominently heard. Midway into the song, Bobby leads the vocal harmony, asking the question, tell me why? Why can't I live my life without all the things that people say? Ad-libbing amidst the chorus in an infectious musical environment. My Prerogative is the lion finally let out of the cage. The culmination of years and years of Bobby being marginalized and criticized for who he is. Now finally given the space to be himself unapologetically under the spotlight. I don't believe there are many people who could resist the urge to dance to this track. It ends on a high note and with one final question. Why you want to talk about me? My Prerogative became the definitive song of Bobby's career. Released as a single on October 11th, 1988, reaching #1 on both the Billboard Hot 100 and the R&B chart. My Prerogative kicked down the door to make him a crossover solo act in the vein of other top-tier artists at the time. The music video for My Prerogative is reminiscent of Janet Jackson's video for Control, a concert setting with both artists declaring their independence from those who sought to keep them contained, featuring his signature two-dancer choreography who would eventually go on to be Heart and Soul. However, it was his live performances of the song that would take it to the next level, Bobby Brown becoming a master entertainer with each showing.
Did all the choreography and staging, and it was hard, but you know, we knew we had to get it done, and they were building such a nice stage that we had to do something great for that stage, and you know, just make the stage look good, and came off. Alec Kashishian, he did a great job with that one.
You mentioned Janet Jackson, by the way. Your My Prerogative song sounds in feeling a lot like her Control.
Yeah.
Is that something you were thinking about?
No, I was just, you know, making a song called My Prerogative, actually. I wasn't thinking about, you know, Control at that time. I was thinking about Janet, but not Control song.
I mean, who are you talking to in that song? Are you telling all the folks who didn't believe you?
All the folks that didn't believe in Bobby Brown in the beginning. The people who said, you know, I could never make it. People who said, you know, you're a bum and you'll never be anything. You know, those people. You know, the teachers that used to teach me in school. They used to put me in a corner. You know, all of them. You know, it's for all of them.
And did you like know right in the creative stages that Don't Be Cruel and My Prerogative are going to be? I mean, what is it that you know about it? What is it that you're thinking about a song? I mean, the music, is the beat that you know is going to be catch on, or is it the lyrics, or what?
Just the groove, period. You know, with Prerogative, the groove just, you know, was too funky for them to deny. And, you know, it hasn't been a song out like that since the Parliament days, and, you know, George Clinton and all them, and James Brown, you know, all of them. They brought funk into the people's eyesight, and we just took the funk and put it into a mixture of hip-hop and pop and, you know, different things. And, you know, I think it worked. You know, for the people out there that like to dance, the people out there that like slow ballads. You know, we got the best producers and best writers that we could find to write these ballads that, you know, the girls want to listen to, you know, the guys want to listen to, you know, when they're thinking about their girl. So, you know, I think it's an album that everybody could just sit back and listen to. Mothers, fathers, and, you know, grandmothers and grandkids and everybody. They can just all listen to it.
The high energy of the album is finally brought down with its next track, Roni, a songwriting collaboration between Babyface and Darnell Bristol. Bobby shows off the progression of his vocal talents and his versatility as an artist, able to sing love ballads just as well as the hard-hitting tracks like Don't Be Cruel and My Prerogative. Every man needs a Roni, a special woman that he can give his love to. If you believe in love and all that it can do for you, give it a chance, girl. If you find a tender Roni that is right for you, make it official. Give her your love. A ballad for the ladies and the fellas, letting us know there's nothing wrong with giving your heart to the right one. Giving a clear definition of a Roni. The truth about a Roni, she's a sweet old girl, about the sweetest little girl in the whole wide world. She'll make the toughest homeboy fall deep in love. So once you've had a Roni, you will never give her up. She's a special kind of girl that makes her daddy feel proud. The kind of girl that stands out in crowds. In this life, Ronis are rare, and you don't meet a lot of them. But when you do, hold on to them. Babyface, Karen White, and KL from The Deal sing background vocals, with Babyface being the most prominent of the three. Roni fits right in with the love ballads Bobby has sung in the past. Listening to Jealous Girl, Girlfriend, spending time in Roni, his romantic charm and flair have always come natural for him. Roni was released as a single on December 27th, 1988, peaking at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 2 on the R&B chart. Much like New Edition, whose music video for Crucial was a live taping, Bobby does the same with a live performance of Roni, a king of stage at the peak of his powers, performing directly to the women while the men watching can only take notes.
like, there's a whole story on Roni.
Man,
Wait,
yo.
needed.
See, Roni was...
That song was old by the time it came out, right?
It was, well, yeah, because the song was actually, I think Roni came out in 88, 89.
Yeah, 87, 88.
88,
yeah.
and it was written in 82.
Yeah.
It was written on the Luther DeBarge tour.
Oh, wow.
Because we went to Miami, and they wouldn't let us on that show for some reason. I don't know why. I'm still a little hurt about it. and so we had to go play a skating rink when nobody came because they were all at the Luther and DeBarge show. So that show got canceled, and so we thought, okay, what are we gonna do? So we took our tour bus and parked outside of the arena, and we had D stand out front because D was our official lead singer, light-skinned dude, and so he could pull the girls in. And so we stood there and kept the door open, and then girls would come by, is that DeBarge? No, it's not DeBarge. We were supposed to be on the show, but we didn't make it here on time. So they come and they said, well, we having a little after party over at a hotel. You guys want to come to the hotel and stuff? And I said, fine. So a few girls got on, and then was one particular girl that got on that was like a very sweet girl. And I said, wow, she's a nice girl. And so we got to the hotel. I don't know how this happened, but Daryl, for some reason, Daryl had already met somebody, and I was rooming with him, and he said, so I'm gonna need the room for a little bit. And so I couldn't go to my room, so I was sitting in the lobby for a while, and different girls would come by and they'd go upstairs and stuff, and then this one girl comes in, and I sit with her, and I'm sitting there. She comes in, we sit down and start talking, and talking about life, and she lives in Miami a little bit, and it's a really nice talk. And then all of a sudden, D comes downstairs. He's like, "Oh, there you are. I was looking for you. Didn't know you was gonna."
Oh.
So he grabs her.
All right.
Takes her away.
Damn.
So
gun cock.
So he's gone upstairs with her. I'm sitting there by myself. So about 10 minutes later, she comes running downstairs. She comes running downstairs, and she's going, oh my God. And I said, what? He said, I got in there, and he's like, he's all over me and this and that. And I said, well, what do you expect? You don't know him. You go to his room that easily. She said, I thought he was nice. He thought he was going to be at least nice like you. I said, well, what can I say? So we're sitting there, and then finally Daryl comes downstairs and he leaves the room. And I said, I've been sitting down here forever, so I'm really kind of tired. I'm gonna go ahead and go to my room. She says, well, but I'm stuck here by myself. I said, sorry. She says, well, do you mind if I come to you to your room? So I said, okay, you can come up. So we go up, we sit, and we talk about all my children, and then she says, if you're here in town tomorrow, I can show you around. I said, oh, sure. And then finally she gets a knock on the door from her friend that was there.
In another room.
Guys, exactly. And she says, I'm ready to go. So, okay, so I decide I'm going to walk her downstairs. As I'm walking her downstairs, then D steps out and he says, what is this? This ain't right. And some other choice words. And says, this Jacoby stuff got to stop. And so Jacoby, exactly. Now I'll explain Jacoby. Now, Jacoby was a character on All My Children. So Jacoby was a guy named Steve Jacoby who actually broke up Cliff and Nina. And Cliff,
oh my God.
and Cliff and Nina, they would never get broke up, but Jacoby actually came between them. And so the word was if you was with a girl, and then you have to be worried about getting Jacoby because one of the guys might take your girl any second. And it was rampant.
This is great.
It was rampant. And so people were kind of scared, you kind of like had to hide your girls because you didn't want somebody to come in and take your girl.
Carjack you.
Exactly.
That's funny. We would say New Jersey Drive on Roots tours, but Jacoby.
So
New Jersey Drive.
So he's out there.
It took me a second.
He's out there. He goes, this stuff got to stop. This is wrong. And we need a meeting tomorrow. We need to have a meeting. So the next day we had a band meeting. And
about groupies.
We had
Like what?
about Jacoby.
Oh, right.
Your girl chose
And so
me.
so
Right,
it
you know
came
what I'm
up.
saying?
So it came up. Yeah, this kind of stuff. This whole Jacoby stuff is like it's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. And so, and I stopped and I said, wait a minute. I didn't Jacoby you. First of all, this girl is sweet. And she's a Roni.
She's a Roni.
And you know, this is the kind of girl, if you treat her right, you know. And,
Hey,
you know,
that's hilarious. Right.
I mean, the truth about a Roni.
She's a sweet little girl, but the sweetest little girl in the whole wide world.
And bang, it hit me right there. And I went upstairs right after that meeting on my Prophet 10 and wrote Roni.
If Roni is heads, Wit'cha is tails. Opening up with 808s, followed by the keyboard and synthesizers that come together to form Bobby's quintessential love ballad. Bobby sets the romantic mood with smooth vocals that glide over the instrumentation. Much like the other songs on the album, Wit'cha has a penchant for a catchy chorus which serves as the home base between verses. The stacked background vocals add substance to what's being said. I wanna rock with you all night long. I wanna roll with you lady, feeling so strong. 35 years later, the song is still a go-to when you're one-on-one and alone with your girl. Midway into the song, Bobby shows once again that he's a solid balladeer, leading the background vocalist with ad-libs. The aforementioned easily made this song one of my longtime personal favorites on the album and in general. Wit'cha was released as a single on August 15th, 1989, and peaked at number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 3 on the R&B chart. The song would be remixed, and the Quiet Storm version would be used in the music video. A remix that would take an already great song and take it to the next level with simplistic instrumentation and vocal arrangements. A new level matched only by the video that accompanied it, showing precisely why Bobby Brown became a superstar. Special note taken to his live performance of the song during his Don't Be Cruel tour in 1989, featuring Karen White as his onstage guest. The combination of Bobby, the backup singers, the band, particularly the saxophone player, made this a performance that I never forgot.
Fellas, we're not gonna leave this table here. We'll take that
Now that you are baby, let's do it right. Lady, you know just what I need. I want to hold you all sometime. Baby, just touch my anywhere. Just cutie and turn it on. To run my fingers through your hair. So come on and stay with me all night. I wanna you sweet love. Don't you ever, I wanna rock with you, baby. Don't you know, there's nothing in the world that I wouldn't do for you. I wash the clothes on your back, I cook the food that you eat, 'cause I wanna rock, I wanna rock you, baby. Give you some of this tender love, baby. I wanna rock with you, baby. Don't you know that I love, yeah, all night long. I wanna roll with you, baby. Don't you ever stop loving me. Thank you, Japan. I love you.
The energy of the album rises again with every little step, an upbeat and lighthearted track, lyrics that can only be inspired by a beautiful woman. A girl like you is like a dream come true, a real life fantasy. No matter what your friends try to tell you, you were made to fall in love. And we will be together any kind of weather. A smoothed out iteration of New Jack Swing, with a break from vocals to show off its hip hop dimensions, where Bobby can be heard beatboxing. The original album version features an additional verse with Karen White, Daryl Simmons, KO, and Babyface singing background vocals on the track. The single version of Every Little Step is distinctly different from the album version, with a more hard-hitting instrumentation, particularly with its percussion, featuring a rap verse that shows he was enjoying his independence. Everybody wants to know what's going down, not with the James, not the Jim, but the Bobby Brown. I'm chilling much hard, as you all know, because Bobby Brown was good to go solo. The stacking of the background vocals are less apparent, with only one voice being prominently heard singing the ad-libs during the chorus. It's been highly debated whether or not it is Ralph Tresvant's voice that is on the single version of the song. It is my personal belief that it is Ralph's voice, as there are no background singers on the album that sing in that same high register. Babyface has gone on record to confirm that it is Bobby who sings the lead vocals on Every Little Step. Babyface would also mention that he always wanted to work with New Edition and sought to write songs they could sing.
Yo, Every Little Step.
Let's go there. Is there a version of Every Little Step with Ralph singing lead?
No.
So that all that was a lie.
That's a complete lie.
Okay. You've heard the guys.
I've heard it, and it's a complete lie.
Okay.
And I always wanted to work with like New Edition and wanted to write New Edition records, New Edition-y kind of songs. And so the whole Dial My Heart and
This Dial My Heart. Did you watch that New Edition special, seeing a lot of truth in some of the?
Yeah, I did the music.
Yeah, I was about to say you're executive for. What does that entail? Like,
we
do you and Jam and Lewis have meetings about stuff, or is it just
they handled like the stuff, most of the stuff they did, and I did all the other things. I did the earlier New Edition stuff, with the kids stuff, and then all the Bobby Brown and Johnny stuff as well.
Okay.
Ricky Bell would mention on Bobby Brown's documentary on A&E that Babyface told him that he wrote Every Little Step with New Edition in mind.
I heard Every Little Step. I was like, man, that should have been a New Edition song. That bouncy, the melody. When I finally met Face, he was like, I really wrote that song for New Edition.
On their Legacy tour, Ralph sings the same ad-lib portion during Bobby's performance of Every Little Step. It is up to the listener's own personal opinion who was on the song, as it was never confirmed nor denied. Every Little Step was released as a single on January 31st, 1989, reaching number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on the R&B chart. It performed well overseas, reaching number 1 on Canada's Dance Urban chart and number 12 on their top singles chart, number 8 in Australia, 10 in Ireland, and number 6 on the UK singles chart, to name a few. The music video went on to become a classic, with Bobby Brown in Heart and Soul in rare form, showing off the latest dance moves of that era. Wayne Brady would pay homage to Every Little Step, remaking the video that also featured Mike Tyson and Bobby Brown, who would perform his own rap verse. Brady would also perform a cover of the song on season 2 of The Masked Singer. Teddy Riley's second contribution to Don't Be Cruel will come in the form of its next track, I'll Be Good to You, co-written and co-produced by Riley, Aaron Hall, and Bobby. The difference between Teddy Riley's take on New Jack Swing and L.A. Reid and Babyface is that Riley leans more into hip-hop, whereas the former leans into R&B. Bobby, Aaron Hall, Bernard Bell, Lee Drakeford, and Teddy Riley come together to form the vocal harmony that became my favorite part of the song. The slap bass gives it the necessary edge that makes it a bona fide dance track. In addition to how great the song is, it consists of solid lyrics. Girl, I need you by my side. I need your loving all the time. But just try to understand me, read me out. I love you, girl, without a doubt. I'll be good to you. What I find that keeps me invested is how much I can relate to the music. Every single track on Don't Be Cruel does just that, and I'll Be Good to You follows suit. Teddy Riley added another musical layer with keyboards that give the sound of horns amidst the claps. Given the production, it's safe to say I'll Be Good to You was created with live performances in mind. The standout live performance being on the television show 227, where Bobby appears as himself and performs I'll Be Good to You with sharp choreography that I felt compelled to learn. An album is all about balance, as Don't Be Cruel is a healthy blend of sharp up-tempo tracks and slow romantic ballads. Take It Slow, written by Jay Logan, Lee Peters, and Larry White. Produced by White, the song gives a more old-fashioned feel that one could compare to songs from New Editions under the Blue Moon album. The slow instrumentation and arrangements of the background vocals give the song a Motown feel. If you ever wondered what solo track Bobby would have sung on Under the Blue Moon, Take It Slow paints a vivid picture. I don't believe Bobby Brown gets enough credit for his talents as a vocalist. After finding you, baby, how could I ask for more? So I'm sending those roses, my love, and I want you to feel what I feel inside. And you are always on my mind, girl. Yo, first time I laid eyes on you, baby, it's like I blew my mind. It was like heaven from above, you know what I'm saying? I never thought love could be this way. You mean a lot to me, baby. I want you to be my girl. Can you do that? In relationships, it's important to take it slow with a girl that makes you feel this way. If you know, you know. It's hard to believe that Bobby was only allowed to sing 1 or 2 songs per album with New Edition. Take It Slow gives the album a whole different look and variety amongst its hits. This song is not a track you skip. All Day, All Night is next. It brings us back to the 80s with a phone call between Bobby and his love interest. The lyrics, much like other songs, are a confession of romantic feelings. Sometimes the things you want are never quite enough. If I had my choice, I'd choose you every time. Your hand in mine, no, we didn't waste no time. Like ice and water, we were made for each other. It's interesting how songs created by complete strangers perfectly describe your personal experiences. Lee Peters, Ollie Bowles, Michael Denton, and Richard Agwan are the voices that make up the song's chorus and bridge. Bobby Brown sits atop those voices, leading the melody into the song's end. All Day and All Night has been my second personal favorite on the album since I first heard it many years ago. I Really Love You Girl, the album's final track, is a songwriting and production collaboration between Gordon Jones and Bobby. Much like Take It Slow, I Really Love You Girl stands out amongst the rest of the album. Portia Griffin provided background vocals that are prominently heard throughout the track, with Gordon Jones also singing spoken word-like portions. The track is reminiscent of reggae based on its instrumentation and vocal arrangements towards the end. I Really Love You Girl shows Bobby's stylistic range as a singer. The album rightfully ends on a smooth and mellow point, whereas if it ended on a fast track, it would give the feel of a cliffhanger. Don't Be Cruel would go on to be certified diamond, eventually selling 12 million copies worldwide, arguably one of the best albums of the decade, and the second best-selling New Jack Swing album of all time. Bobby and New Edition would reunite for the Heartbreak Tour, with Bobby initially opening the show with only a 20-minute set. Due to his increasing popularity and rising album sales of Don't Be Cruel, the set would be rearranged, with Bobby performing just before New Edition and given a 45-minute set, and I'll Be Sure opening the show instead.
You're great, Al B is great, New Edition, that is a great package. It really is.
It's a heartbreak package.
Yeah, oh, it is.
Definitely a
Oh,
heartbreak
man.
package.
Women are falling out. They keep stretchers back. They just keep moving them out. It's been rearranged now, though, hasn't it? I mean, the first leg of the tour, the lineup was you as opening act, then I'll Be Sure, and then New Edition. From what I understand, that's been rearranged now.
Yes, now it's the girls, I'll Be Sure, myself, and then New Edition. For reasons that,
are obvious. You don't
may
have
not
to
be
say
discussed on television.
Yeah.
Put it like that. White.
But you've been burning the stage. I mean, when I was first told that was going to be the package, I said, how in the world are they going to do that? I mean, everyone is so hot right now.
Yeah.
It's like, who stars?
It's not really who, stars. It's, I need more time. That's all. I just needed more time. There's a lot of stuff that I wasn't able to do for the people because, just knowing that I had 25 minutes and going up there with the attitude like, man, I wish I had more time.
Yeah.
And not thinking about, well, I'm going to utilize this time and try to, do what I got to do.
Right.
But, it's going to be right.
So time-wise, it means what now? It means 40 minutes as opposed to 20?
45 minutes.
Wow. Big difference.
Big difference.
Okay. Well, get ready, Columbus. The Heartbreak Tour is in your city tonight.
Like, what do you feel your moment was like? We've arrived. Like, was it with that record? Was it?
I think it was a lot with that record. It was a lot with Bobby, to watch it happen for Bobby, because, see, Bobby was a underdog at that particular point. And so we were, I think, in North Carolina. We were at a show in North Carolina. They did that tour where it was Bobby and
New Edition,
and I'll Be Sure. Bobby opened the show.
Right.
In 6 months, maybe less, Bobby was closing the show. So I was there, and we were there at this show where Bobby had already been on and no one was there. And then we walked in on the side of the stage while I'll Be Sure was on the stage. And Bobby walks out, and this whole side starts losing it.
Right.
And I'll Be Sure thinking it's him.
Oh, poor Al.
But it was Bobby Brown just standing off to the side.
So Chris Rock has a story where he was with I'll Be Sure the first moment that I'll Be Sure heard the Don't Be Cruel album.
Oh, really?
Like literally they're in the back of the tour bus, and Chris Rock is like, I literally seen I'll Be Sure watch his career go away.
He knew it was over.
By the time Side 2 came on, he was just like deflated, like his whole body language was.
Well, look, it was a lot. It was a lot on the material, but it was really the thing about Bobby Brown. He was, and still to this day, I don't think I've seen a performer like Bobby Brown, like he was in the early 90s. In his prime, he's like a fighter, like Muhammad Ali in his prime. There, still, I haven't seen any artist have that thing that he had about himself.
Swag.
It was amazing, because we're not talking about the best singer in the world, but we are talking about an entertainer, and who owned it, and that was, so we got more than we bargained for, out of it. I think we helped him find himself in that way.
During their stop in Columbus, Georgia, Bobby would be arrested for lewd on-stage acts during his performance of Roni, an incident that led to another boost in his popularity. Don't Be Cruel outsold New Edition's Heartbreak by a great margin, resulting in him being given his own tour to headline in 1989. In an effort to capitalize on the success of Don't Be Cruel, MCA would release the remix album Dance You Know It, which featured Bobby's best songs from King of Stage, Don't Be Cruel, and On Our Own. On Our Own was featured on the Ghostbusters 2 soundtrack and released as a single on June 22nd, 1989. It reached number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on the R&B chart. Much like the other singles on Don't Be Cruel, On Our Own charted well overseas, reaching #1 and the top 10 in several European countries. It was also certified platinum as a single, selling 1 million copies on its own. Pun intended. The music video would feature Christopher Reeves, Donald Trump, Dougie Fresh, Rick Moranis, and more. Bobby Brown would also make a cameo appearance in the Ghostbusters 2 film, where he played a doorman at the Gracie Mansion. Don't Be Cruel would go on to inspire the next generation of R&B artists who would follow his blueprint. Usher, Chris Brown, and many others benefited from the doors Bobby Brown kicked down, with many of them citing him as an inspiration.
Bobby Brown or I'll Be Sure?
Bobby Brown. He a GOAT too, man. Shout out to Bobby, man. Fuck all that.
And I'll Be Sure too. Let's just be clear.
I'll Be Sure, cool.
Nah, that nigga led the light skin community.
Nah, I'll Be Sure's a legend.
That's y'all opinion. Bobby Brown is that
No, Bobby
nigga.
Brown, no,
Yeah,
he
Bobby
is.
Brown.
No, Bobby Brown
Nigga.
is the
You hear
guy.
me? Bobby
Prerogative?
Brown. Bobby Brown was
Everything.
a first. Come on,
Everything.
man. Hey, it was a point in time when Bobby Brown had every female in the world at his call.
He's sorry.
Say, man. Bobby was Bobby, and his last name Brown, so I'm never hating on it. You got to.
Going back to New Edition.
You got ulterior motives. I respect you.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Hey,
Come on.
Bobby Brown, you know what I'm saying?
It's
Hey,
Brown bias.
You a legend forever.
Okay.
If you made it to the end of this video, I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure again to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.